the headlines are across Nigeria. And I have with me in the studio Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political technocrat and an aviation expert, and Dotun Ojon, leadership and communication strategist. And it's Dotun's birthday today. Oh yeah, you look birthday.
Congratulations.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Let's know where the party will be after now.
After the program.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's see what the headlines are this morning now. We'll start with the Nigerian Tribune. That's where we start from. More political parties to be registered before 2023. INEC is revealing this. Says delisting of commercial platform difficult. Okay. Let's move from there to the Daily Sun. PDP APC fight over EU report on 2019 polls. Observers comments confirmation of rigging. PDP is saying that, and you claim myopic. Kayamo replies opposition party. It's vindication of our position on INEC server. The Von, as Voice of Nigeria Director General, is saying that. All right, you can find all that on the front page of the Daily Sun. The Guardian is next now. Controversy intensifies over EU election report. Verdict tears apart ruling opposition parties. And INEC to review party registration guidelines as EU faults pose. And how Buhari's non-assent to electoral bill undermined commission. And rights body calls for Mahmoud's resignation. You find all that on the front page of The Guardian. Okay, from The Guardian, let's move now to Blueprint. Blueprint is the next place we're going now. Anxiety as INEC moves to axe dormant political parties, rejects parties as platforms for hire, and its violation of agreement, SMP scribe is saying that, and UN undermining our democracy, IPAC is saying that. From the Blueprint, let's go to the Vanguard. Vanguard is our next point of destination. Insecurity. Parents now afraid to send children to school. UNICEF is revealing this and has some multiple riders there saying we'll deal with marauding headsmen. Are Onokakanfo in council is saying that. New security policy for Lagos coming, says Sanwo-Olu. Efforts to combat menace in place. The Ekiti government is saying that. And Buhari, Northwest governors working to tackle insecurity, as the presidency is saying this. Right, from the Vanguard, now let's go to the News Direct, and that will be the last one this morning. $9.723 billion FDI partnerships. NSIA contributes $519.3 million for 6 partnership projects. Revives 18 fertilizer blending plants, deploys 100 billion naira for 3 road projects, and raises profit by 37% to 44.34 billion naira in 1 year. Okay, it looks good on paper. I see. Okay, gentlemen, let's go into this EU. What seemed to be the EU reports that centered on the election, the last election in 2019. Dr. Kayode, let me start with you on this. You've been following this event. I wonder how this came to you when you read the report, when you heard of the report.
Yeah, you see, sometimes when people read reports, they look at it sentimentally. Instead of people to look at it, what is there in it for us to gain? You choose what is there for you to gain, and then the other ones you can throw them away. Reading that report, you're going to see that EU, number one, did not even come for inauguration of the president as it's supposed to be. No, I now say, is it because of this report? Now going through that report, they were telling us that, look, it was marred with series of anomalies. Some people were killed. There are a lot of infractions and all that. Now, I expect the government to look at this report and say, okay, where have we faltered? And where is it that we can improve upon? You can imagine INEC during the period to election. They were saying, okay, you're going to do this electronic transfer, this and that and all that. And even some money were being allocated to that. But between you and me, sincerely, when I listen to one particular interview that Mahmoud had with the one other station.
That's the INEC chairman.
Yeah, INEC chairman. He was saying, no, we cannot do that because of some local problems. Niger Comsat, telecoms, and all that. He was saying, no, we cannot do that. But then, at this our age, are we saying we are not old enough to have improved on our electioneering activities, like processing of election, processing of data, and all that? So these are the issues that EU was raising in that their report. And I wouldn't think they mean a kind of to smear us in the face, rather for us to learn from our past mistakes.
Dotun, when reports like this come, this is not the first time we are getting reports like this from international agencies or international partners and all of that. We have not forgotten Amnesty International.
Yeah.
We've not forgotten Transparency International. When they come up with reports indicting any activity or any agency, there seem to be a lot of fireworks here and there.
Yeah.
That approach, what do you think about it?
Don't mind us. It's our personal, yes.
Just say don't mind us.
Don't mind us. We have translated our personal character into government process. You know, usually an average Nigerian, when it comes to his own case, is usually a lawyer. But when it comes to the case of other, he becomes a judge. We always like to judge the other person while we like to defend ourselves. And that's why it's going to be very difficult to actually move past the level we are in. The people in government, oftentimes, because I can boldly say since 1999, we've never had any credible election. That is actually credible that everybody will say. In fact, I think it was even worse in 2003, because practically in the Southwest zone, Baba Obasanjo practically held the hands of the governors at their back to rig election. And this were the practice of PDP. This is my opinion.
I see that's your personal opinion.
Yes. But again, when APC came, we thought that, in actual fact, we thought that the 2019 election was going to be better, considering the body language of the president. In fact, for the first time, it actually went beyond body language to mouth language, because he came out strong to warn ballot box snatchers that they were not going to have it easy. So we thought things were going to get better. But the way it is now, I think every one of us as a nation, not even people in government, it is not even time for PDP to start celebrating. I think we need to sit down and ask ourselves some basic questions. And the first one is that, do we actually want good people to occupy positions in Nigeria? If the answer is yes, then we need to give a place to credible election.
All right. Dr. Kayode, what should be the ideal disposition to an outcome or a report like this?
Yeah, you see, like I even said earlier, all we need to do is sit down, evaluate all those things that were raised. For instance, I was telling some people months before the election, I said, before we can have a credible election, we need to first of all know what our population is. But people were not looking at that area. You see, those are the issues, those are part of the issues that were raised. So what I'm saying is, let us evaluate.
But you know, when it comes to population, when it comes to population, there are always estimates. And the National Population Commission, that is the government vested with the authority to ascertain the population, they have their estimates with the National Bureau of Statistics.
The question now is, to what extent is that estimate correct? How long ago did we have the last census?
But is there anywhere in the world, really, that you can actually pinpoint and say there are actually 2 people in this country or there are 10 people in this country?
But we should be able to get something like 0.05 degree of freedom when we look at it. Do you understand? Unlike where some people are giving 120 million, 80 million. But the issue is, on this issue thing, we need to sit down and evaluate this in properly. Let us see where we have defaulted. Let us see where improvements can be made.
All right.
And then towards a more credible election in future, rather than throwing the whole thing away just like that.
All right. We have to leave it here now. Dr. Dayo Kayode, thank you very much for coming on the program. And Dr. Ojon, the birthday boy, thank you very much for coming as well. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. I have with me in the studio Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political technocrat, aviation expert, and Dotun Ojon, Leadership and Communications Strategist. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show. And happy birthday, Dotun. You're looking really like your day.
Thank you. Thank you. What
All right, let's head straight to the papers now. And we'll start with the Nigerian Tribune. The headline here says, more political parties to be registered before 2023. INEC says the listing of commercial platform difficult. And we'll move to the Daily Sun. PDP-APC fight over EU report on 2019 polls. Observers comments confirmation of rigging. PDP, your claim myopic. Kiyamo replies opposition party. It's vindication of our position on INEC server. Von DG. To the Guardian now, major headline here says, controversy intensifies over EU election report. Verdict tears apart ruling opposition parties. INEC to review party registration guidelines as EU faults polls. How Buhari's non-assent to electoral bill undermined commission. Rights body call for Mahmoud's resignation. All right. To the front page of Blueprint now, anxiety as INEC moves to axe dormant political parties, rejects parties as platforms for hire. It's a violation of agreement, SNP scribe, UN undermining our democracy, IPAC. And to the front page of the Vanguard, insecurity, parents now afraid to send children to school. UNICEF will deal with marauding headsmen, Ariel Nakakamfo in council. New security policy for Lagos coming, says Sanwo-Olu. Efforts to combat menace in place, Ekiti government. Buhari, Northwest governors working to tackle insurgency presidency. We'll look at that shortly. And finally, on the front page of Nigerian News Direct, $9.723 billion FDI partnerships. NSIA contributes $519.3 million for 6 partnership projects, revives 18 fertilizer blending plants, deploys 100 billion naira for 3 road projects, raises profit by 37% to 44.34 billion naira in 1 year. All right, gentlemen, I'd like for us to look at the story on the front page of the Vanguard, talking about parents now afraid to send their children to school. Now, how worrisome is this, Dotun? I'll start with you. Seeing that children who are meant to be education is now being threatened as a result of insecurity.
Yeah, insecurity is a major factor in Nigeria. It's not just for kids who cannot go to school. I think even the parents too cannot go to the market, and that's just the reality. Because with the recent report we got from Ondo State, Ekiti State, you discover that it has got to the point where some of these bandits actually walk into people's houses and they kidnap people at will. There was a particular incident that happened in Ondo State. I think some group of people were kidnapped, and after negotiation and all that, the traditional ruler of that same community went to the police station and he was coming back. And on his way back, he was almost kidnapped again. So it's tragic. Now, insecurity is not a problem of the North, like an average myopic mind would think. Usually, because that was how Boko Haram festered without the government responding when it started. The mindset of people in government at that point in time was, oh, it's the people of the North. Let's just cage them to the Northeast. You can't have such mindset. And again, this government has to wake up to its responsibility, because this is the exact mistake that the PDP government made. Now everybody is hiding under headsmen. If you see any bandit now, they want to be called headsmen
because of the way they
know
dress.
That the government has not been able to tackle the issue of headsmen appropriately. Nobody is identified with Boko Haram any longer.
All right, Dr. Dayo Kayode, remember the police have come up with several operations, this and that, Python dance operation, so many operations we have seen the police come up with. And recently the police IG spoke about the gains made when they arrested about 2,000 bandits, or so to speak. Now, and this we're still having these issues. Are we really touching the root cause of all of this insecurity issues that we are facing?
You see, there's no doubt about it that police and all that are doing some are bringing up some succor to the people to the best of their ability. But then, we are still asking them to do more. Because a situation whereby is now affecting our school children from going to school, is affecting economic activities, affecting social activities, then that means the society is going to decadence, whereby even to move becomes a problem for the people. It becomes, the society is going down the drain. Economic activities, school activities, social activities, none is now operating. So where do we go from there? So they need to step up their strategies. And I kept on...
When you say step up their strategy,
yes, I kept on saying it. Yeah, listen, I kept on saying it. For instance, now look at what happened in Ekiti a few weeks ago, whereby a pastor organized his own kidnap and then organized how he was going to collect ransom. Do you understand? So to that extent, I've been saying, let commissioner of police of each state be a resident or somebody from that particular state. For instance, post an Ondo State indigene to Ondo State as commissioner of police.
Will that have any impact?
I will explain those things to you as area commander and then as DPO. Those people, they know the terrain of their state very well. And again, they wouldn't want any kind of insecure activities to happen to their family members. They will show a kind of care, do you understand, to their state. And then, but then, all those other police, you can bring people from other regions and other states and all that. But those that will be controlling the apparatus of security in that state, let it be those people that are people from that particular place. Then let also tell the governors their security money, their security vote. Let them go and get drones. How much do they sell drones? When each state has about 5, they'll be able to cover the whole state. Then let Niger ComSat also come up to their bellies. All these things will step up the security activities.
Dotun, do you share the same view, especially when it spoke about the commissioner of police being from a particular state to handle the security issues?
Yes, to a certain extent, I think it's going to actually improve the level of security, at least knowledge of the environment and all that. I've worked closely with the police in the past few years, and I know that majorly the problem that the police system is facing now is lack of information, which is a product of breakdown of trust. The community that is supposed to feed the police with information that will lead to intelligence.
So if the person is from their state,
yes, perhaps
they will trust the person.
They will be able to trust the person and say, we are giving information. The problem we have is not even, yes, the problem we have is not even more guns for the police. I think even when you get more equipment for the police, the breakdown of trust is a major challenge. Because, for example, we have seen cases of people who go to the police station to report a particular incident, and at the end of the day, because the police cannot arrest those that were reported, they come after the person because it's the one that came to report. So this has, over time, this has actually broken down the level of trust. So we need to work on trust. Let's work on the psyche of the police people. Let's work on welfare. Then let's work on trust.
All right, Dr. Dayo, Kayode, and Dr. Ojon, gentlemen, thank you for coming on TVC Breakfast.
It's a pleasure.
It can be very interesting behind the camera sometimes. If I have to put that together as a program for you, I know you prefer it to what we do here. But it's really nice to have you join us on TVC Breakfast. We're looking at the papers now, seeing what the headlines are saying across Nigeria. And I have with me Dr. Dayo Kayode, a political technocrat, is joining us right here. And we also have Dr. Ojon, leadership and communication strategist. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
All right, let's begin with the Nigerian Tribune. That's where we start right now. More political parties to be registered before 2023. INEC is revealing this and says delisting of commercial platform is difficult. Okay, from there, let's go to the Daily Sun. PDP APC fight over EU report on 2019 polls. Observers comments confirmation of rigging. PDP saying that. And your claim myopic. And Kayamo replies opposition party. It's vindication of our position on INEC server. The Voice of Nigeria DG is saying this. Right from there, let's go to The Guardian. Controversy intensifies over EU election report. That you can find out on the front page of The Guardian. Let's move there now to the blueprint. Blueprint is the next paper now. Anxiety as INEC moves to axe dormant political parties. Rejects parties as platforms for hire. It's violation of agreement. SNP scribe saying that. And UN undermining our democracy. You find that, that's by IPAC. You find that on the front page of the blueprint. Let's go now to Vanguard. Insecurity. Parents now afraid to send children to school. UNICEF is bringing out this revelation. You also have some, you see some multiple riders there saying we'll deal with marauding herdsmen. Ariana Kokanfo in council is saying that. And then new security police for Lagos coming, says Sanwo-Olu. And efforts to combat menace in place. Ekiti government is saying that. And Buhari, Northwest governors working to tackle insurgency. The presidency is saying this. From there, let's go to the News Direct. All right, the $9.723 billion FDI partnerships, NSIA contributes $519.3 million for 6 partnership projects and revives 18 fertilizer blending plans, deploys 100 billion naira for 3 road projects, raises profit by 37% to 44.34 billion naira in 1 year. You find all that on the front page of the News Direct. From there, let's go to the Daily Trust. Daily Trust is our next and the last paper now. 548 emirates, chiefdoms, guzzle billions annually. Okay, 548 emirates, chiefdoms, guzzle billions every year. Okay, you can find a breakdown of all of that on the front page of the Daily Trust. It's really an interesting read, I must say. All right, gentlemen, let's go to the 2 stories on INEC and the place and state of new political parties. I guess this will interest you. The front page of the Nigerian Tribune says more political parties to be registered before 2023. And then if you see the blueprint is saying anxiety as INEC moves to axe dormant political parties. Dotun, let me start with you on this. We already have close to 100 political parties in Nigeria. And if they're going to register more, then we might be talking about 100 and something political parties.
Then
or 200.
But by the law, they all have the right.
Yes, once you're qualified.
Once you're qualified, they have the right to be registered as a political party. But how do we reconcile
so that they can turn our ballot paper to cardboard paper?
But really?
But on a serious note, you know, it was Kenya that actually started this Oshodi kind of having to register political party. At the point, Kenya registered 150 political parties. But you and I know that as of today in Kenya, it's almost a 2-party system that they are operating because the other ones are nowhere to be found.
After they had to merge here and there.
Merge here and there. So I think it's about time for us to begin to consider the issue of regional parties. You understand? It is constitutional. You can actually register a party and limit your view or your manifesto to a particular region where you have the strength. Instead of coming out to say you want to become a national party and you cannot produce a councillor.
Yeah, but in the eye of the Constitution, there are no regions. So when you say you want to limit political party to regions, the Constitution doesn't recognize regions as it is right now.
Of course, we can continue to talk about states if you know that, for example, when our court party started, our court party came as a national party, but in the recent of it was very popular in Oyo State. When Labour Party came on board, it was looking like a national party, but it was for Ondo State. People began to focus one particular region so that at the end of the day, they will not have to register a political party and you are not producing anyone.
All right.
To a quick one, to actually apply to register a political party, you need about ₦1 million. You cannot register a political party without having an office in Abuja. These are some of the things we can actually look beyond some of these things to invest money.
All right. Dr. Kayode, I believe the idea, the reason, some of the ideas, those who conceptualize this, what we're thinking about is the issue of giving it a national spread, whereby whatever it is, it will balance regions, it will balance ethnicity, it will balance religion, so that one way or the other, it carries everybody along so that some political parties are not seen as religious parties or ethnic parties and all of that, so that it reduces tension. But talk to us how successful this has been.
You see, no matter the variable, those people that conceptualize that are looking at, I think the most important variable that should be looked at is effectiveness and efficiency of our political system. And what do I mean about that? The one we have operating now, we have a lot of them who wants to be the presidential candidates of parties. Why? Because those parties are just there. But these are people that will have been very, very effective if we have maybe about 2 or 3 party system, and then they put themselves inside one of those parties and then contest for houses of assembly or senate or reps, or which they will have been very effective there. To that extent, will we be able to have an efficient political system that will be able to bring real dividends of democracy to the people? But when you have such people, because of what I call ego, and then availability of parties on ground, which needs to be used by candidates anyway, they now say, okay, I want to become president. By the time they don't win that presidency, they are no more useful to the society. They will not be able to give to the people what they are supposed to. Because instead of them to have contended for House of Reps or House of Senate or Assembly, you will see them contesting for this, and at the end of the day, they're not doing anything.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, we need to really look at this system and look at how effective it is within our political environment.
When it comes to attacking, or not, okay, let me not use the word attacking, facing this thing headlong as to, let us make this thing very functional and effective.
Yeah.
The way it is going right now, it's like people call friends and former schoolmates together. You are from,
form a political
and let's just form a political party.
And
Do you think
it should be 3 or 4 of them?
Dotun, do you think something has to be done where there is more tact in this?
Yes, you see, the simple tact in it is that it's a very good thing to have ambition, to want to contest for either you want to be president or anything. But I think the major thing that INEC should do at this point in time is to see into the political system of political parties. And this is what I mean. One of the reasons why people pull out of APC, pull out of PDP, is because the party is too expensive. If I want to go to the House of Assembly, I don't need to buy a form of 1 million naira to express my interest. So if there can be a law from INEC that we actually peg that you cannot buy expression of interest from more than so amount of money, so that I will not, at the end of the day, you see the impact and the effect of this thing is that at the end of the day, I go to Alajo and all the banks, I borrow all the money to come and buy form. And you will be preaching to me that at the end of the day, I should not steal money. These are some of the,
because you're owing.
Some of the problems.
You took a loan and you have to pay back. All right. Unfortunately, we don't have all the time to talk about this, but I know this is going to be of interest to a lot of Nigerians. And as we get along, certainly things will become clearer. Thank you very much, Dr. Ojon, the birthday boy.
Yeah.
I hope from here we're going to the party.
We are going to Dr.
Oh, Dr. Kayode. Kayode, you are the host?
You see, Dotun is my very good brother, so we've got to do something. Cake is already waiting for us there.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. We can't wait to, and I know Veronica is also standing by to chop the cake. All right. Dr. Kayode, thank you so much for coming on the program. Dotun, thank you so much. I will wish you well in your new year.
Thank you so much.
Okay.